is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 1 and 5 to 9. Moses spoke to the people and said, Now Israel, hear the statutes and decrees, which I am teaching you to observe, that you may live and may enter in and take possession of the land, which the Lord, the God of your fathers, is giving you. Therefore I teach you the statutes and decrees, as the Lord my God has commanded me, that you may observe them in the land you are entering to occupy. Observe them carefully, for thus will you give evidence of your wisdom and intelligence to the nations, who will hear of all these statutes and say, This great nation is truly a wise and intelligent people. For what great nation is there that has God so close to it as the Lord? Our God is to us whenever we call upon Him. Or what great nation has statutes and decrees that are just as this whole law which I am setting before you today? However, take care and be earnestly on your guard, not to forget the things which your own eyes have seen, nor let them slip from your memory as long as you live. But teach them to your children and to your children's children. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish but to fulfill. Amen, I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or the smallest part of a letter will pass from the law, until all things have taken place. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever obeys and teaches these commandments will be called greatest in the kingdom of heaven. The Gospel of the Lord.
Very often Jesus was accused of not keeping the law by the elders and the leaders of Jewish people. Therefore, he was labeled as someone who would go against the law, so as to make people think of new ways of responding to the law. And today, that's why Jesus tells his disciples, I have come not to abolish the law, but to complete it. Now, one might ask, how did Jesus complete the law that was already given by Moses? And Jesus tells them very often the reason as to why the people had to put into a system and they had to abide by all those laws and rules and regulations given to them by Moses. Because their hearts were hardened, and Moses had to put them into this system so that they could be tamed. But Jesus, when he came, he said, I have something new for you. But of course the law is important, but as long as you have this very, very important ingredient, which is love of God and love of neighbor. And Jesus tells us that we need to love God above everyone and above everything. And then we ought to love our brother and sister as we love ourselves. And this is the challenge we have before us today. Let's ask ourselves, we have so many rules and regulations that we have received, even in the church. How faithful are we? Do we complete them with love? Of course, we know as a father, as a mother, we are obliged to take care of our children. The law expects us to do that. But do we do that with love? As married couples, do we take care of one another as the law tells us with love? And this is the challenge we have. We come for services. We do all sorts of religious observances. We keep the law that is given to us by the church. But then, do we do it out of love? Or do we do it out of fear? And it becomes complete and full. The process of following the law becomes rather fulfilled when we apply love into it. So therefore, let us ask God to give us the desire to always follow the commandments, the rules and regulations in the religion or in our day-to-day life with so much of love, so that as Jesus tells us, it will be full and complete.
Sri Wachanayano.